back. Today I want to talk to you about something that's really been on my mind a lot lately, and that is fear versus faith. So first of all, before we get started, I want to talk to you about who you really are. You are a powerful being. You, my friend, have some amazing powers, and these powers that you have, you can use to create. You create your situations, you create your experiences, you create your life. Whether it's an enjoyable life or a life full of fear and negativity, you are the creator. So with that knowledge, realize that you have the power to change your life. If you're living a life right now that you don't like, that makes you really unhappy, hopefully the tips that I share today can give you some insight on how to turn that around and start living a life of faith, a life that's going to make you a lot happier. So know that you are powerful and you have that power within you to create that change. So there's two powers that we use to create that we use to create our lives and our experiences and what we go through. The first is fear, and the second is faith. So first I want to talk about fear. What is fear? To me, whenever you feel fear, your thoughts are generally focused on the things that you don't want. So think about any time in your life when you've been afraid. You know, maybe it's a snowy day and you have to get on the freeway to go visit some family, and you're thinking, oh, I'm afraid, I don't want to go out today, I don't want to make that drive, I don't want to get on the freeway, don't want to go visit them because I might get in a car accident. So think about that. Fear is when we're focusing on the thoughts of what we don't want to happen to us. And those feelings come up and we become afraid. And it's really limiting. Whatever it is you're focusing on, you're going to attract that into your life. So if you're constantly focused on what you don't want to happen to you, you're actually creating more of that in your life. So it's powerful. When I think of fear, I think of being kept below my potential. So fear, it's a really limiting, debilitating power that just kind of pulls you down. So you have this potential way up here to just rise above, but fear is going to just weigh you down and pull you down and bring you down to below what you're capable of and who you really can become. With fear, I always think of that question on our mind. When we're afraid, it's always, well, what if? It's the great unknown. Well, what if this happens? You know, what if that happens? What'll I do? What'll they say? What will they think about me? What will become of me? What will become of them? Fear is all based around what if. And if we spent all of our energy always focusing on the what ifs and the what we don't want, it's not going to do anything good for us. It's not going to create any benefit for us. Really, it's just going to keep us down in that despair mode, and we want to rise above. Lastly, when I think about fear, I think about darkness, confusion, weakness, all the things that, like I said, keep you down here. So if you're creating a life full of experiences that are keeping you down here and keeping you confused and in that darkness, you can do something about it. And that's when we're going to talk about faith. So faith obviously is the opposite of fear. With faith, so I talked about with fear, it's the what if question. With faith, I call it the so what question. Or I guess it's not really even a question, it's more of a statement. So what? So what if that happens? I'll survive. So what if that happens? At least I was doing the right thing when I went after it. Or when I set those intentions, they were good intentions and I know I was doing the right thing. Faith is, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this because I know it's the right thing to do. And I have this strong conviction I need to do it, and let the cards fall where they may. When I'm following my truth and I'm following my path, and I have that strong burning conviction inside of me that I know this is what I'm supposed to do, then so what? Let the cards fall where they may. I know everything happens for a reason, and I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's the power of faith. So with faith, you're going to experience empowerment. Faith is empowering. It's courage. It's strength. So faith helps you build up because you've got that strength and you're building up. Where fear tears down. It tears. It's a tearing form of power. You're tearing things down. You're headed in the opposite direction of faith. When you're experiencing faith, you're practicing focusing on the things that you want and the things that you know are true, the things that you know are real. You're on that path to constantly think about and center your mind around the experiences and the feelings that you want. And so, like I said with fear, you're going to start manifesting those things into your life. If you're focusing on being happy and kindness and charity and generosity, you are going to manifest that into your life because that's what you're focusing on. So you're creating a life of happiness and joy and love because that's where your thoughts are centered. And that's how you're using faith as a power to build up and build the life that you want. I believe that everybody knows. You know inside who you really are. You know deep down what you're capable of doing, what your gifts are, why you were sent here to the earth at this time to have the life that you have. You know all those answers deep down. It's our physical human brain that kind of fogs everything up, and we forget what it is we're doing here and why we came here. And we forget the potential that we have to do some amazing things and to be a huge force for good in this world. We forget that. And so by applying faith and practicing faith, what that's going to do is that's going to kind of just confirm and manifest what you already know deep inside to be true. It's going to help that grow and turn into something huge just because you believe. So even if you're not sure and you have some doubt, just set out with the intentions that I want this to happen, and I know it's going to happen, or I believe in this, I know it's real. And if you just keep doing that and you just keep saying that every day, you're going to build that. You're going to build upon that, and you're going to see some amazing things happen, what we typically call miracles. So it's an amazing, empowering thing to apply into your life. With faith comes light and clarity. So where with fear, you've got the darkness and the confusion and the weakness, you're going to have the opposite with faith. You're going to have the strength, the light, the clarity. Things are going to make sense. And the more they make sense, the more knowledge is going to be pouring into your life, and you're just going to keep growing and going up that ladder. I want to share an experience to kind of help this hit home a little bit. A while ago, and I could probably say several times in my life, I've had experiences where I've had some goals, and I've started some projects that I felt were really good and that would really uplift people, and I put my heart and soul into them, and I put myself out there kind of in the spotlight, which is really uncomfortable to do sometimes, and I received a lot of good feedback, a lot of good comments. But at the same time, there were those few small comments that came through that were negative. I received some criticism. I received some negative attitudes and feelings about what I was doing. And at times, I felt like I had been wrongly judged. I had been falsely accused of something I wasn't trying to do. And that hurt, and that was really hard, because I felt like I was being seen in a light that was not my intention. So at these times in my life when this has happened, because it's happened more than once, I had a choice to make. And I thought, you know what? This doesn't feel good. I don't like the feeling of being judged. I don't like when people accuse me of doing something that I'm not doing. And I don't like being put out there like this for people to kind of pick me apart. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good. And in that moment, I could have made the choice to live my life from that point on off of fear, because I want to be comfortable. I want to feel safe. I don't want to have these experiences where I put myself out there and to grow when I might get hurt. So it's safer to be down here and just living in that little bubble because I'm afraid. So with that, I also had the choice to say, so what? So what if people think something negative about me? So what if they wrongly judge my intentions of what I'm trying to do? So what? By being afraid and limiting myself based off of fear, I'm going to miss out on those opportunities of all the good and all the joy of the results of what it is I'm doing. So if you're willing to put yourself out there and have that courage and live a life of faith, if you're willing to put yourself out there and say, so what if someone rubs me the wrong way? So what if I come across someone who's a little bit negative or who criticizes me? So what? Because at the same time, you're going to come across people who are amazing, people who uplift you, people who motivate you, people who are inspired by you because you were afraid to share your story. There's so much good that can come from when we put ourselves out there and we choose to not live a life off of fear. So if you're willing to say, so what? Hey, I might have to experience some of the bad things in order to know the good. That's when your life is going to change and everything in your life is going to completely turn around and change for the better. When you're living a life of fear, you're never going to know the good. You're only going to know the bad. You're only going to stay down in that small little section, that small little, I call it the basement of your life. And you're only going to know that fear. And you're only going to know the bad things and what people, what they've done to you in the past, and you're going to dwell on all of those negative experiences. But with faith, sure, you might experience some uncomfortable things and some negative situations, but it's kind of the only way you get to know the good. So think about that. It's a risk, but it's worth it. So with all of this, I want to end with kind of a homework assignment. This is a tip. I always offer tips, so I want to give you a tip. I want you to try this and see if it makes a difference in your life. And I'd really love to hear back from you to see if you've applied this and the difference that you've noticed. I want you to start, first of all, I want you to ask yourself right now, am I creating a life out of fear or out of faith? So think about that right now. Kind of just look at the things that are going on in your life. Are you making your choices out of fear or out of faith? Okay? Now, with that comes your homework assignment. I want you to try something to where you are going to become more aware of your thoughts. I want you, every time you have a negative feeling pop into your head, every time you feel afraid and you have that seed of fear building up inside of you, recognize it and stop yourself in the moment and say, hey, am I making a choice right now or a decision because I'm afraid? Or am I going to turn this around and take it somewhere better and use my faith? So try that. Start by just recognizing every time you feel afraid or you feel negative, and recognize that you're doing it and make that positive choice. Take that step of action to turn it around and say, you know what? I'm not going to let this stop me or limit me or keep me, closed up. I'm going to do something good. Before I go with that tip, I do want to share one last little, not really a story, but just something that will kind of help tie it all together. I want you to think of it like a relationship. Think about all the times in your life when someone has really hurt you, or maybe someone broke up with you, or you had a relationship just go bad, and you felt like you were a victim, and it really hurt. And think about those times in your life. Did you use that to stop you from going into other relationships down the road? When somebody else came along, did you say, you know what, I'm not even going to give that person the time of day, or I'm not going to answer their call because I was in a relationship where I was hurt and I don't want to experience that hurt again. I feel safer by just staying away. Think about that, and the thought that comes to my mind about that is, if we close our heart, if you close your heart off to love and you put up a wall around it, how are you ever going to let love in? And how are you ever going to know that love and joy and happiness if you're going to close it off? So, again, be willing to experience some sadness, some heartache, some negative emotions and experiences in order to let that light in order to let that love in order to get that rich goodness that we're all seeking after, that all of us want in our lives. we have to be willing to take that risk and exercise that faith and know that, so what? Let the cards fall where they may. Everything's going to work out. I'm doing the best that I can with the best way that I know how, and as long as I'm doing that and I'm staying true to who I am and I'm desiring for better, then let the cards fall where they may. So thank you for joining me today. Again, you can follow me for more tips, more videos. Check me out at yourhappylady.com, and on YouTube, it's under Happy Marriages. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon.